You've probably heard of the book The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. It's one of those books people like to put on their shelves, quote in conversations, maybe even tweet about. But here's the reality. Very few traders who pick up that book actually extract the lessons that could transform their trading lives. And that's what we're going to do together right now. This is Trading Rebels, where we break away from the shallow thinking of the masses and dig into what truly drives consistency, intentionality, and wealth in the markets. By the end of this conversation, you'll not only see how badly most traders misread this book, but you'll walk away with a clearer lens for how to structure your own trading psychology, not with hype, but with depth. So let's start where most traders go wrong. When they read Housel's The Psychology of Money, they nod at the stories. They highlight a few catchy phrases like compounding works wonders or wealth is what you don't see. And then they close the book and go right back to gambling on charts. They miss that Housel was never writing for traders. He was writing about universal money principles. And yet, traders are the ones who need these principles the most. Let's rebel against that shallowness and dig in. The first thing that struck me in this book is the idea that wealth is not about flashy outcomes, but about hidden discipline. Housel says that wealth is what you don't see. It's the quiet accumulation of capital, the choices you make when nobody is watching, the delayed gratification that compounds in the background. Now let me ask you, how does that apply to your trading? Too many of you are obsessed with showing wins on social media, posting profits, chasing the one trade that looks impressive. That's not wealth. That's noise. Real wealth in trading is not the trade you brag about. It's the risk you didn't take, the over-leverage you avoided, the impulse you killed, and the patience you exercised when the market baited you. It's the discipline you refuse to compromise even when nobody claps for you. Think about it. How many times has your biggest growth as a trader come not from the wins you booked, but from the bad trades you refuse to enter? Wealth in trading is silence, and silence compounds. And that brings me to the second hidden truth from the book, the power of compounding, but not in the way most traders think. When people talk about compounding, they picture money doubling over years. But Housel teaches that compounding is not only about money, it's about behavior. Your habits compound, your discipline compounds, your mindset compounds. If you train yourself to stay patient on one trade today, that habit compounds into patience tomorrow. If you cut one bad trade quickly, that habit compounds into risk control for the next. What destroys traders is not that they don't know compounding, it's that they only think of it as interest rates and percentages, and they fail to see that every trading decision is a compounding decision. Your structure compounds into results. Your recklessness compounds into ruin. Let that sink in. Now, let's rebel again against the shallow reads. Most people read Housel's stories about luck and risk and think, oh yeah, markets are risky, I should be careful. But they don't internalize it. Housel points to something critical. Luck and risk are two sides of the same coin, meaning you can do everything right and still lose on a trade, and you can do everything wrong and still win. Most traders take that as an excuse to stay chaotic. But here's what the rebels know. If you cannot separate process from outcome, you will never be consistent. Risk means probability rules, not certainty. And luck means sometimes you'll get outcomes you didn't deserve. But structure means you don't care about one outcome. You care about the long series of them. That's why traders who obsess over accuracy miss the point. The point isn't to be right all the time. The point is to build a process that compounds into survival and eventually dominance. That's the philosophy hidden in Housel's writing, and most of you miss it. Let me challenge you. How often do you confuse a lucky win for skill? How often do you beat yourself up for a disciplined loss? The rebel understands what Housel was hinting at. The single trade is irrelevant. The model is what matters. Once you reframe your thinking this way, you stop worshiping wins and you start worshiping structure. You stop asking, was I right? And start asking, was I consistent with my process? And that's the question that saves your career. The fourth thing traders miss from this book is the idea of enough. Housel repeats this lesson again and again. The hardest financial skill is knowing when you have enough. Greed destroys more wealth than bad markets. Now, tell me, how many traders blow their accounts not because the market was against them, but because they couldn't stop when they were ahead? One more trade, one more entry, one more chance to double it, and boom, it's gone. Enough is the concept that saves you from overtrading, from revenge trading, from adding to winners with ego instead of structure. Enough is the principle that draws the line between trading for consistency and trading for self-destruction. You don't need every pip. You don't need every move. You don't need to squeeze the market dry. You need enough to grow, enough to sustain, enough to let compounding take care of the rest. And the final lesson traders completely miss is the concept of behavior over knowledge. Housel says financial success is not a hard science. It's a soft skill where how you behave matters more than what you know. And that's where most traders fail. They think if they just learn more indicators, more strategies, more books, they'll succeed. But trading rebels know knowledge doesn't move your hand on the mouse when fear kicks in. Knowledge doesn't stop you from over-leveraging when greed takes over. Knowledge doesn't save you when impulse hijacks your structure. Behavior does. The psychology of money is the psychology of self-control, intentional design, and discipline. And if you cannot behave in alignment with your structure, you will never make it. So let's tie this together. Wealth is what you don't see. It's the hidden discipline. Compounding is not just money, it's behavior. Risk and luck are real, but only structure makes them survivable. Enough is freedom, not limitation, and behavior will always trump knowledge. That's what traders miss in this book. And if you can integrate these 5 principles into your trading psychology, you'll not only read Housel differently, you'll live trading differently. Let me ask you a question as we close. Will you continue to be the trader who reads great books, nods, highlights, and forgets? Or will you be the rebel who extracts structure, applies discipline, and compounds behavior until wealth shows up silently? The choice is yours. If this conversation challenged you, don't keep it to yourself. Hit the like button, share this with another trader who's lost in the noise, and subscribe to Trading Rebels so you never miss the next breakdown. And comment below, which of these 5 truths hit you the hardest? Because next episode, we're breaking down another classic you thought you understood, but trust me, you didn't.